Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the What's in Your Head podcast.
Digitized live from
your company name here.
Studios in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the What's in Your Head podcast.
What's up, OG5? Welcome to another episode of the What's in Your Head podcast. It's almost time for school. It's Saturday. Just the Don's super annoyed that he couldn't play the Battlefield promo because the current queue at 8:30, 155,140 people waiting to get on that goddamn server. So
I think I was at 8,000 earlier or something like that.
That's insane. And I think within the last 2 days, they've already reported they've caught like 30,000 people trying to run cheat codes and shit. Which they, first and foremost, I get it. A lot of you fuckers are out there making money because you're streamers. I don't know what douchebag streamer likes to watch somebody who runs a fucking aimbot.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you got to run an aimbot, I want to like degrade you and say, haha, you suck. But a lot of you assholes have figured out a way to make money off of sucking at games by running game bots. I will say, when I was an Xbox player before my power supply went out, I hated playing games with with PC players because of that.
Well, they're running the anti-cheat softwares and whatnot, but I guess that's so if you know anything about computers, it's easily.
Well, not only that, but the
it's an easy get around.
The anti-cheat doesn't always work because I got kicked off of DayZ for just playing a game, and it said kicked off for cheating. I'm like, motherfucker, I ain't cheating.
Yeah.
I'm so paranoid. I don't want those cheating softwares on my computer because God knows what else is embedded in it, right? You're running an aimbot, meanwhile they're mining your computer for fucking credit card numbers and shit.
Yeah.
No. But they got to do something. I mean, it's going to kill the gaming community. How do you think the Ryan Trahans, the Beast, and all these YouTubers who make content for teenagers, how they're going to, you think they're going to be affected by the new YouTube policy?
What is the new YouTube policy?
Starting by the end of August, if they can't determine your age, I guess maybe by your content or by your data, if they feel you're under 18, they're going to make you. See, it's interesting because if you're under 18, unless you're 16, you have a driver's license, but most people under 18 don't have a form of ID, but they're going to do something that requires you to upload a form of ID.
Yeah.
I guess they just won't let you watch shit, and if you're over 18, then you're going to have to upload your ID. I don't anticipate my 47-year-old ass being asked to upload anything, but like if you're 18, 19, and 20, well, obviously those guys, they make content for kids, so I don't know how it's going to affect their views, but then the overall... The audience who's like between 18 and I don't know 25 or whatever, I guess they're counting on them to be so trusting that they're going to be dumb enough to upload it. I have a problem with uploading my driver's license to prove my age, right? I don't know if it's the old guy in me or the paranoid guy or what, or maybe I'm just because I'm an IT guy and I realize how many large companies get hacked on a regular basis. But it'll be interesting to see how people's views and revenues affected by it.
I'd be interested to see how many of our young YouTubers out there end up being affected by this.
Yeah, right.
Underage YouTubers. I mean, not just, people who watch, but people who put content out, kids that have channels and whatnot, how that's going to affect them. Because if they're going to age verify people who watch YouTube, then they're going to have to age verify people who create content for YouTube as well.
But I imagine those kids, if you're below 18 or 16 for that matter, I imagine you're going to have some sort of parental intervention, because if you're below 16, you're not old enough to have a PayPal account or any other sort of account for YouTube to deposit that money into anyhow, right?
True.
In order to get paid, for example, I think YouTube sends the money to Google Payment, and then whatever bank account you put in there, that's how they deposit the money.
Sure.
So you're already going to have somewhat of a parental intervention because they're going to have to open up the bank account and then they're going to have to co-sign on it and all the taxes and shit anyhow. But it'd definitely be interesting to see. They're already doing it in Europe, and the kids have already started getting around it because they do facial recognition too.
Yeah.
They're doing facial scans with cameras, and so kids have found out like you can use Norman Reedus's picture on one of the video games where they're animated as. So they're just holding up video game on their fucking cell phones or their monitors of the computers that trick the AI into letting them in. So they're already finding ways around it.
People aren't dumb. Kids aren't dumb. I mean, kids are, even though, I mean, even kids like my son, he's 13. So he already, I'm sure, has figured out workarounds for all kinds of different shit where I would have never thought to figure out how to do that. I mean, I figured out workarounds for things that when I was his age, when technology was a little bit dumbed down, even for then,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, I think that's always going to be a factor, is that somebody's always going to be able to figure out a way around it, no matter what. You're not going to be able to tighten it up
I just-
100%.
Is it a Gen Z thing to be so jaded, Morgan? Or are you jaded too, Mike? Are you millennials
I'm
as
pretty,
jaded as we are?
yeah, I'm pretty jaded. I mean, I wouldn't say that, you know, I don't know. I'd just say, yeah, I'm pretty jaded, I
Well,
guess.
let me give you an example why I'm so jaded. So, I don't know, like last month in Kentucky or whatever, it was like last October, it's almost a year ago, but not quite. When I was up there for my mom's surgery, that's when Instagram started promoting on YouTube and on Pandora the new teen accounts.
Yeah.
You have teenagers, sign up for a teen account. We care about your security. And I'm like, sure you do. People have been blaming
Bullshit.
you for the last 15 years for creating comparison culture, the increase of the teenage suicide, yada, yada,
Hmm.
yada, 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 pedophilia, trafficking. Now all of a sudden you care? I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they have it, but come on. I'm so jaded. It's hard for me to. No, the truth is, Meta stock went down. Everybody's moving over to TikTok. There's this scare about TikTok. So let's go after the parents. Hey, bring your kids over to Instagram. We have these new teen accounts.
Yeah.
But then 2 days ago, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Instagram announced a new feature. It's disabled right now by default, but I'm sure it'll be enabled. Photo sharing, where they basically people can go on a map and see exactly where you are based on where you posted your last photo from.
Yep.
So the jaded guy in me is like, oh, this is why you guys started that teen account 6 months ago, because you didn't want people to blame Instagram for fucking teenage abduction when you pushed out this new live map bullshit. And so you had to go ahead and get out in front of it, do a 6 months buffer. Hey, we try to tell everybody put their teens on the teen account. So I'm just so jaded. It's like, oh, it all when I see shit like that, it's like, oh, it all makes sense now. I'm not saying it's true, but that's how my jaded mind works. Like, oh, I get it now. Because I knew, because it can't possibly be because they care, or otherwise
Yeah.
they would have fixed this shit 15 years ago when people were pointing out in the news, like, studies showed due to the ever since the advent of Instagram, the comparison culture and teenage suicides, particularly among women, have gone through the fucking roof. Instagram.
Right.
Well, I figured they just got sued enough times for something that, they had to do something to placate people so they quit getting sued.
I
Well,
would
and you
agree
think,
with you if it wasn't for the fact that it seems like anything that has to do with elites and corporate and pedophilia doesn't see the day of light and never goes to fucking court, right? I mean, we all remember when the P. Diddy story first came out, they're talking about the kids involved. By the time that shit wrapped up, they weren't talking about the pedophilia side of that. It was all about what celebrity was involved, right? Then we all saw what happened
Mhm.
to the Epstein list, and it just seems like anytime
What
anything like
list?
that happened, it seems like, oh, we're going to ignore that.
So I got a question.
I got an answer.
So why is what's her name? Ghislaine Maxwell?
Jazane,
Why is
yeah.
she still in jail?
Why isn't he in? Oh, why is she in jail?
No, why is she still in jail? Because she was trafficking kids to who?
Nobody.
If yeah, if there's no provable client, why is
Right.
she still in jail?
Because
I
Exactly.
mean, I think she belongs there, but I'm just saying from a legal definition, if there is no list of people that
the
were her
answer,
clientele,
the answer, she sold to the protected class. Why are they called the protected class? They're fucking protected. Did you hear about Walmart and Kroger starting their new dynamic pricing?
I did
Look at
see that they were putting up the digital tags at some of the Kroger stores.
Yeah, but when people hear digital tags, they think of like the signs that Kohl's have had for years, where it's just a sign digitally displayed. No,
wow.
these are tags that they can adjust the price
Yep.
at any point in the day, or more conspiratorially, which Delta has been accused of. they can adjust the price based on the geographical location of the store. Where if you're in Marco Island, your shit's gonna be a lot more expensive than if you're at the Walmart closest to MLK. But I kind of get that, right? Because it's a physical store. You know, you have each store has different fucking personnel. Maybe their rent's higher, the insurance is higher, depending or less.
Transportation costs are different.
But Delta has been
So
accused of when you go to buy tickets on Delta, they're being accused of inflating the prices based on your personal data that's shared to the server. For example, Mike, if you were out looking at boats yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
I was out filling out forms to get food stamps. Your Delta plane ticket would cost substantially more than mine would, that they're actually adjusting prices based off of people's browsing habits and their potential for income.
Yeah, total
Gross
bullshit.
is that?
That's total bullshit.
Yeah, complete.
so before I try to book my next plane ticket, I'll just Google a bunch of EBT stuff and
I made that joke to my boss that just if this shit goes widespread, we'll all just go to Walmart and buy flip phones and have two phones, and one of them will just be Social Security checks and EBT cards. But then
how
you,
do I apply for SSI?
but then right now it only happens to Delta, and we all three know we're all Frontier people. People.
What are you talking about? I'm fucking Spirit Airlines.
Oh, shit's so painful. I learned that lesson the hard way. Because when I went up for my mom's surgery and then the hurricane came, I flew up there on Frontier and I booked through cheap tickets. And my flight, it was getting crazy. Long story, I like lost money on a ticket because I had to cancel a flight and book a new ticket, and then it got canceled because it was crazy.
One reason not. Well, there's a whole bunch of reasons not to book with Frontier Airlines, but another reason, they have no customer service unless you pay the $55 a year for their nonsense, or if your flight is 24 hours from now, or you land within 24 hours. I'm supposed to fly home on Thursday, but there might be a hurricane, and so I'm trying to get a hold of somebody to see if I can change my flight around because it's not 24 hours, there's no one to talk to, chat, phone, or otherwise. So I understand us poor people fly Frontier for a reason, but it's a reason not to fly Frontier. Good morning, y'all. It is 4:45. I'm on my way to Cincinnati Airport so I can fly home. For those of you who don't know, I live right about there. The suck thing is because it's a last minute flight, I gotta fly to Illinois, hang out there for a while, and then fly back down to there. So I'm getting on my flight at 6:30 and I'm getting home at 4:30. And then I gotta go home and start trying to prep my house for that. So join me on the ride.
I lost money and I could not get money back through Frontier, but with Delta or one of the bigger ones, they offer protection on that. But yeah, those are such a scam with the.
I was actually checking out your old archives of the old digital 410 page.
A lot of it's broke because the
two-
images are gone.
Yeah, from 2003.
Yeah. I started d-410.com as a website to troubleshoot because that's when I got my first job in IT working for Lunar Pages, and I needed a website to understand how websites work.
And what do you know? We've got d-410.com's forum, What's in Your Head,
There you
now
go.
has its own URL.
What's in your head?
See?
was originally-
All the way from back in 2003, folks.
Yeah, What's in Your Head was originally a forum that me and my brothers ran. We actually had a pretty decent membership back then, back when people used forums all the time.
Yep, we've got archives from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
2003 is when actually 2002 is when I got the job. So I guess that website didn't start until 2003. I remember when Google came online.
Really?
Yeah.
What was before that? Was ask.com before Google?
Yeah, Yahoo was the big one.
Yahoo, yeah. And
Yeah.
obviously AOL was a search engine back then too, wasn't it? Or
Yeah.
Ask Jeeves, yeah. But that was ask.com before it was ask.com, right? It was
It
Ask
was
Jeeves
Ask
before
Jeeves,
Were
that.
you
Yeah.
were you dial up, Don?
Oh yeah. back in the day, I go so far back. Actually, technically, it's my brother. My dad got us our first Tandy, and then we had a Packard, a Hewlett Packard before the HP. It was literally a Hewlett Packard my dad got at a Radio Shack. I've been online since Windows 3.1, but my brother was a bigger computer nerd than I was because he was older than me, right? So he was in high school when I was in middle school. And so back when they had CompuServe, and we didn't do AOL because that shit was too high. That was too bougie. Before that, it was just you dial onto the internet and you'd have to discover bulletin board BBS's bulletin board systems. We had CompuServe. We remember CompuServe. My brother was running a BBS on my dad's computer. My dad got pissed because he didn't want people to hack in his shit because it had all his work stuff on there. But technically, my brother was running a website out of my dad's computer and out of our house in 1993. That's how far back we go.
Wow.
And then my dad locked down the computer where basically all we could use was Microsoft Word and Paint. And so I didn't do anything computer related since 1995, all 96, 97, 98, 90. My high school years, no computer. I went to my buddy Steve's house. He had, Doom and all that shit. I played computer games, but actively. Um, and then I didn't get my first personal computer until I got married in 2001. Everybody was on AOL, but we couldn't afford that shit. We were doing I think we talked about this before, the free minute special. So you free
Yeah.
kids how everything used to be billed by minutes back in the day. Your cell phone was minutes, internet was minutes. So what you could do is get promo packs. You go down to Kmart and get Kmart Blue Light, and you can get a free 60 minutes a month. Like, wow, an hour a
Yeah.
month, that's not a whole lot of time. But then you'd go to the grocery store and get the AOL free night 60 minutes a month, and then you get the Juno free 60 minutes a month. And then so basically you would have four different ISPs, four different email addresses installed on your computer. And then when you ran out of time, it may have been like 3 hours a month or something. You would just rotate providers. So you'd switch from AOL to Juno, to Kmart Blue Light, and you would just rotate.
Kmart Blue Light. I vaguely
Kmart
remember
had
that.
their own. And it was so funny. I remember when burnable CDs came out because that's right, kids. I started working with computers on a regular basis, and right after 9/11, after I got laid off from like I said, I had my computer in 2001, or 2000. But I moved to California in 2003, and that's when burnable CDs started making. They've been around a while, but that's when they started making it to the home market where they're affordable for people. And when you used to go to grocery stores, they'd have as soon as you walk in, it had the big tower of the AOL free minute CDs. And I was there one day, and the AOL lady was swapping them out, taking out the old one to put out the new version. And I was like, you guys really need to start putting those on CDRW so you can stop filling the landfills with them. She gave me a dirty look because it would make so much more sense just to go reburn that shit instead of. Could you? The amount of CDs that have to be in landfills from between 2001 and fucking 5 minutes ago is insane. There's got to be so many CDs in landfills.
Was CDR was CD read,
It,
and then RW was read write?
Yeah, but originally it was one time. The rewrites were the second level. First one,
Right.
CDR, you could write it, and that was it. It was one and done. So
Right.
it wasn't until the RWs where you could rewrite came out.
So you could completely wipe the CD clean and then
It was like a USB. It was like a
a
basically
stick, right?
kind of like a USB stick. Yeah, you can
Right.
delete it and reburn it X amount of times. Carrying a firearm daily comes with serious responsibilities. Responsibilities your everyday counterparts may not have to consider. Knowing where you can and cannot legally bring your firearm is crucial. But sometimes, life takes you places where carrying isn't an option. That's where the Stopbox Pro portable gun safe comes in. Securely store your firearm in your vehicle while handling life's obligations. Safety, responsibility, and with peace of mind. Stopbox Pro. Protection when you need it. Security when you don't. And then that's
My son's X-rays from 10 years ago for his finger are on a CD, and I have to have them. He has to get a new set of X-rays, and we're going through that process so he can get his finger fixed because it's actually he broke it when he was real young,
mm-hmm.
and it be broken on the growth plate, so it curves. So instead of it being
Isn't that in
straight, it curves
California?
in like this.
Growth plate?
Huh? What'd you say?
Isn't that in California, the growth plate?
Yeah. So we have to get his x-rays done. And I was like, well, I was talking to his doctor and I was like, can you guys do anything with this? I was like, I have all of his old x-rays on here. They were like, actually, we can. I was like, really? And he
I
was like, yeah, you can take it down to radiology, which is in the same building. And he was like, they'll upload it into the system. So they have all that shit on file. So
90% of my clients with the company I work for are ear, nose, and throat doctors.
yeah.
And we're constantly sending them CD burners from Amazon because the medical industry, especially because of their patients' age,
Yeah.
people are bringing X-rays and CAT scan files in on CDs, not on
Yep.
USB flash drives, on
Mhm.
CDs. So the medical industry alone is keeping the CDRW and the DVD
Yeah.
player market
Well,
alive.
and they're also
That-
keeping the fax machine industry alive
Yeah.
because they do 90% of their data transmission by fax.
The beetle.
At my
Yeah.
at my last job, I used to be my fax number was one number off from a doctor's office. So I would get people's personal medical information. If I'd go in the morning and pull my stack of faxes off.
Sheila's
And
got
here's
chlamydia
Bertha's-
again.
Yeah, here's Bertha's radiology, results. And I'd call the doctor's office and I'm like, don't you people verify the number that you're sending this stuff to? Fortunately, it's coming to me, and I'm going to call you and tell you that you need to resend it to the right number.
Well,
And I'm
they
going to
say,
drop it in the shredder without looking at it.
Yeah.
sir, we get a fax report from your fax machine every time. So we
Yeah.
get confirmation that the fax was delivered.
Yeah, but after about the 15th time in a week, I'm like, aren't you people concerned about your HIPAA stuff? And they're like, yeah, what are you talking about?
That's
It's got to
a
be some
big
kind of a HIPAA
violation.
violation that you
Oh, it's
sent it to
huge.
me
It's
because
huge.
I've got 15 pages of this person's medical records.
Yep.
If I was some sort of nefarious individual, y'all would be screwed.
Hell, you could have probably told that person, figured out how to call them, or maybe they had their phone number on their paperwork and went, hey, by the way, your doctor's office is fucking you with your paperwork. It's
Oh,
all being
yeah.
faxed to me. You might have a good lawsuit on your hands right here.
I
Yeah. And for a nominal fee, I would be willing
Yeah.
to testify.
Yeah, just give me a cool 1.5 and I'm good.
So right now, if you head over to d-410.com and actually, no, go to youtube.com, look at D410 Media. I just uploaded the video that Mike and I shot together of the Inferno 25K and 5K. Boy, I was a fucking
Yeah, good
day, wasn't it?
job.
You made it.
It
Hey.
seemed a lot hotter than 85 degrees out there.
It was fucking dude, I was underneath a tent. It was brutal. With a
I
fan on
noticed-
me, I was still sweating.
I noticed in some of the tripod video, people finally started meandering their way over to use their tent.
Yeah. There was two ladies and a fella, and they came from behind. They were parked over by the cars that were by the trucks, and they were like, "Hey, can we borrow your shade?" I was like, "Yeah, go ahead."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just, they didn't say hardly two words to me, but I was like, whatever.
So I haven't seen the video yet.
Mhm.
Is it like a road race or is it like a
Technically, it's a trail race.
trail type race?
It was
Okay.
Harnsmarsh is a 4-mile trail in Lehigh.
Okay.
It's a hybrid, really. It starts out as your standard gravel and dirt utility road, and then parts of it, depending on where you're at on the property, turns into old what used to be paved utility roads, and then you're dealing with that. And then parts of it is just sand, and then parts of it's just overgrown grass. So you get the whole ambiance while you're out there. And there might be 3 trees over the path during the entire race. So for all intents and purposes, it's out in the open Florida sun. And the first thing I noticed when I got there, and granted, they're the 5Kers, they're only out there for 45, 50 minutes at most. But the amount of people who are wearing all black t-shirt, black shorts,
Oh,
I'm like, well, good thing you're running from 7:30 to 8:30. But I planned ahead because originally it was supposed to be a 50K, but people were too smart to sign up to fucking beat themselves up for 35 miles in the goddamn
Yeah,
heat.
good thing because good thing you didn't sign up for that shit.
Oh, I wouldn't have finished.
You'd have definitely got a DNF on that one.
I wouldn't have finished it. But
Yeah.
I had my white casking shirt on, my white casking. Well, I had my white cap on for the first 4 miles, and then when I came back, because it was 4 mile loops, and then I switched to my bucket hat and I put ice in it. And the thing that I'm glad we did, I planned ahead. And Mike brought his cooler, which was big enough. I had my Nathan's running hydration vest, and then I had my off-brand one that I bought first. And so while I was wearing one, the other one was sitting in the cooler,
Cooling down.
packs
Yeah.
all in it. So then every 4 miles, I'd swap it out and get the cooling from that
Nice.
while. So that was helpful. But one of
Yeah.
my, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say we were every lap we were swapping those out. It was it was refilling everything, making sure water was good to go, Gatorades, all that kind of shit, and every lap. Well, the first lap I had to try and get some footage of the 5K that finished,
Yeah.
and then laps 2, 3, and then the finish. I was over there, and we were
I
swapping out the packs and everything, and trying to make sure that you stay hydrated and stay at least put something in your stomach for sure.
I
But
basically ran the 25K a little overkill,
yeah,
but we ran it like the way I planned to do the 50K. So
right.
instead of adjusting it just because I knew it was so hot. And one of my concerns was rhabdostrombosis, which is a kidney failure you can suffer from dehydration and
hmm
overexertion.
Right.
And so I don't know if you can get rhabdo on a 25K, but you can definitely get it on a 50 or more. And basically, what happens, you don't drink enough, then you stop pissing, and then your kidneys shut down. And when you do piss, it looks like coffee, and you can end up in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I overhydrated, but more important or more bad choice, I took too many salt tablets. So I took 2 salt sticks
Oh,
before the race. One of them had caffeine, the other one didn't. And then I was drinking, but I was so concerned about dehydration. Well, and the other worst thing about dehydration is dehydration leads to lactic acid buildup, which leads to cramps. And I'd suffered through
lactic acid.
lactic acid, which I'd suffered through my first Savage race. And then so by the time I did my third and fourth Savage races and my two Rugged Maniacs, I had that lactic acid problem whipped. I drink plenty of Gatorade and never was a problem. And so that was my other concern too. And so, but I ended up overhydrating because in between, I think loop 2 and 3, I took another salt stick. By the end of lap 3, my calves were cramping up so bad that I couldn't jog. I walked the last 5 miles of that race.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, my hands were hurting. And I thought it was just from doing this. I looked down, my hands are swollen up like I got stung by a fucking
Yeah.
wasp.
He was bloated like he was getting stung by bees or
I
something.
probably gained
Yeah.
5 pounds during that
Yeah.
race. It's not in the video. I took it out. I had my shirt off, and I look like I gained back all the weight I had lost.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my buddy Zach tonight, and he's in his close to 70s now, but he's like, that's so funny. He said my family were down here about 3 weeks ago, and I went out and bought a ham, and I'm the only person that ate this ham. He said I killed this ham for like 3 days straight. He said, damn, the ham was salty. He said the next thing I looked down, he said my ankles are this fucking big. He said I gained 6 pounds in 4 days from eating salted ham. He said it took me forever to realize it was the salt content. For those you guys who don't know, salt makes your body retain water. Um, for example, you may have never put two and two together, but if you're ever in the same lunchroom or gymnasium with the wrestling team in middle school and weigh-ins were coming up, and little Johnny's a little scrawny and he had to get his coach to tell him to take his salt pills and then drink it. That's why it actually makes your body retain water.
So
And
you stay in your upper weight class.
yeah, and in the series Pacific, when they're on Peleliu, you hear Haney tell them to take their salt tabs so they don't get dehydrated.
No.
Back to the race. I'm glad I brought a change of shoes because I went out there with my regular street shoes, my Brooks, because I'm like, it's not super crazy. I don't need trail shoes, but they had so many of those small pea gravel and then large. I could feel every rock, every stone under my foot. So when I came in between lap 1 and 2, I changed my shoes out. I put my trail running shoes on to have a thicker sole, so that helped tremendously.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
will say
I
too, this is I would stop to do my my change outs before I crossed the finish line. So
Right.
when I looked at my Strava, you would see right when I got by the finish line, my pace went through the fucking ceiling. And then as I crossed to start the next lap, it went down because that 5 or 10 minutes I was sitting was still registering as race time.
Right.
And so I finished the race. I had 10 minutes left. It ran from 7:30 to 12:30. So I almost DNF from time. I thought I was going to be dead fucking last, but this woman named, oh, can't remember her fucking name. I say it in the video. She was behind me. She was dehydrated because she didn't consume enough water. She was fucking throwing up and shit. But
Yeah.
she finished the race too. Monica was her name. Because I my calves cramped up and I almost fell down. And then she came up behind me. She's like, "Your calves cramping up?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, they are." She's like, "Yeah, I had that happen to me once." And she's like, got down and couldn't stand up. She said to me, "You're not getting behind me." She's like, "We're finishing this shit together." And we suffered through it. We finished that shit together. But yeah, we finished it. One thing I've known this, but this reinforces it. I can go on athlinks.com and see all 21 races that I've ran registered. And granted, I've gotten older, but my times have gotten tremendously slower. And one of the biggest contributors to that is I no longer run with a group. My training runs are by myself. Back
Right.
in the day, I would go down to Edison on Sunday mornings and run with 20 people and run other people's. And so, like, if I look on my old races, perfect example. This was 3 miles more than a half marathon. When I look at the Marco Island half marathon, I did. Granted, it was in February, it wasn't so hot, so that's a big part of it too. But they have hills. I did a 9 minute mile. My average was a 9:31 pace for the entire half marathon back in 2019. With the stops, I think my average was 16, 15 or 16. So I added 6 minutes to my, plus it's hotter than shit. But my
Yeah.
point is because I haven't ran with a group of people with the exception of races, I don't have anybody around to push me. So when I'm out doing my leisure races, there's times I'll walk quite a bit and I'm seeing that in my numbers. So
This has been a Digital 410 production.
second place finisher is David Hebert with a time of 20:09. And the first place finisher for the male overall is Kellen Hart with a time of 18:58. And I think David and Kellen are out doing a little cool down run right now, and so they'll be back shortly. We'll grab a picture with them when they come back.
Start a loop 2, and as I tend to do, I'm bringing up the rear. Stopped before I crossed. There's a truck set up early. Swapped out my Nathan's vest for my knockoff vest. Put on the bucket hat because the sun's coming up. Grabbed a little bit of food. Ran through the very congested starting map to trigger round 2. Here we go. On the back side of lap 2, I forgot to mention, I did change my shoes after lap 1. Came out here in a pair of Brooks, but I could feel every stone, every rock, every loose piece of soil under my foot, and it was painful. So when I stopped and changed my vest and put my Merrells on, I'm doing a lot better. On the back side, just sent Mike a message, asked him to make me a peanut butter bagel and cut it in half. So when I get to the next station, I'm gonna put my Nathan's back on, eat a bagel, and get moving. So we're trucking.
Pictures and stuff too, so a lot of finishing pictures, shit like that.
Beginning of lap 3. It's getting hotter. Stopped, put some ice in the old Cast King hat. Switched to the Nathan's, which was in my ice chest. That's a big example. If you guys want to do these hot runs, bring to your running vest, put one in your cooler. So when you swap them out, it's basically an ice pack. Help cool you down. Whew. Okay, gotta finish this lap and one more. Be a new PR. It's hot. Legs are starting to cramp, which is concerning. That happened the last time I did my long run, even though I've been hydrating what I thought was keeping up on my nutrition, salts. Anyhow, despite the fact that it's hot out here, sure is pretty. Don't get too impressed. I think this guy's lapped me. I know I'm DFL, but I'm pretty sure I've been lapped. So I think I'll probably
running the last lap by myself. But hey, I'm not an elite runner. I'm just a 47-year-old trying to push himself to his limits. My goal is to finish. That is the hardest part about doing this stuff, is reminding yourself. I know it's cliche, but it's the truth. You gotta run your own race, which gets real hard when people start lapping you. But hey, there's a fine art to being dead last. There's a hog out there. Something big out there. No, it's a bird. He's bending over. I'm gonna say it's probably too hot in the day for a hog to be out there. Look, the head bent down, the body looked like a hog. We're getting on the last mile of loop 3. Once again, I'm pretty sure I'll be heading out on the last loop by myself. I believe this is the last loop for all the rest of these fine, fast runners. At least there's plenty of stuff to look out here. There's different landmarks, so you know where you're at and how close you are to finishing that lap. Gotta go all the way down this long stretch and then dogleg around to the left, and then dogleg to the right, and then dogleg around to the left. Gotta go all the way down this long stretch, and we're back in the parking lot, and we'll get ready for our final lap. I start running, my fucking calves cramp up so bad. Yeah. That's why. Where's my bag? Look at that black bag.
There he is, folks. And then on lap number 3.
Getting ready lap number 4.
Going into lap 4.
Last one. Alright. Where's my bucket hat?
Keep going.
What's going on today?
The running event.
Oh, is that what it is?
Endurance racing, yeah.
So they're doing a whole loop of that thing?
Yeah, it's 4 miles around the loop, so my buddy's running 25K today, so 16 miles.
Wow.
We did the 5K this morning. That event's over. And
Yeah, that takes some dedication.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have a good one.
You too.
Just hit mile 13. I cannot run at all. I even try to run and my calves get as hard as rocks. So I'm basically walking this last lap. Back here somewhere is Monica. She came up on me as my calves are cramping. She said, "Are both your calves cramping?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "That happened to me in my last race and I fell down and couldn't get back up." So she stopped back here because she's cramping up. So basically the two of us are kind of bringing up the rear. We got plenty of time to finish though, so I'm just gonna walk it out. It's been hot. About 2 miles to go. Some cloud cover coming in, kind of covering up the sun. It's a nice breeze back here. Still suffering. But yeah, we're getting close. Yeah, I'm not running at all. My calves, as soon as I try to run, they just turn into softballs. And then I just fall on my face. So just forward momentum, that's the key. We're on the struggle bus. This long last mile is torturous. Sun's back out. The woman behind me She needs a Wendy award for like not quitting. Poor woman's back to throwing up, struggling. She and I are bringing up the rear. She saw me cramping up. And so, but the sweeper's back here with the truck. She told me to go on. So worst case scenario, she'll get an air conditioned ride back. So hopefully she finishes the race.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Don Abernathy.
Great job. Great. There's a 28.
Yeah, I'm overhydrated. Yeah, I'm clearly overhydrated because I'm swollen up, but usually that happens from lactic acid from being dehydrated, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, look at my hands. They're fucking swollen. And it's not because I haven't been pissing. I've been pissing once or twice a lap, so I'm getting it out of me.
This has been a Digital 410 production.